The 2024 election on November 5th is fast approaching. Of course, we all know about the presidential election, but there are also several down-ballot races with big impacts, including in Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, and Suffolk. Voters in all three cities will elect a mayor to represent them. People in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach will also vote for city council and school board. And in Virginia Beach, the sheriff's race is also on the ballot. And then in Chesapeake, people will vote on a recycling referendum. So yeah, the ballots can get a bit busy, and that's why we're breaking it all down for you right here, right now. It's your voice, your vote.
We continue our series of race preview stories tonight on 13 News Now.
So 10 candidates are running to help shape the school system in one of the area's fastest growing cities. Alex Littlehales reports on the race for Chesapeake School Board.
There are more than double the number of candidates than there are open seats for Chesapeake School Board. 10 candidates are running to fill 4 at-large school board openings. And with those 4 seats up for grabs, 4 sitting school board members are running for re-election. Samuel Boone, Thomas Mercer, Norman Poole, and Chairwoman Angela Swigert.
In the last few years, we have navigated some of the most challenging times that I believe any school board has faced. And I am committed to facing any continuing challenges and opportunities thoughtfully, strategically.
We need to do the best we can is to keep politics out of the classroom. Many people who are making these decisions on the state and on the national level have really never spent time in the classroom.
But I also think that it's important to have someone that has a history. I wouldn't want a school board made up of 28 years of service by everyone. But I do think it's important to know the background, where we came from.
We have fought First Amendment rights, and we've made things work under that. We have fought an entire process of the governor's model policy, and we enacted that. We have fought to put more security in our schools by adding sheriff's officers and even more sheriff's officers to our schools.
There are 3 people with prior school experience looking to unseat them. They include former school counselor Malia Huddle.
I've worked with students from all walks of life, all socioeconomic backgrounds, and with lots of different goals for what comes after.
Along with former educator Latif Shahir.
Public school education has always been #1 in my house. My mother was a preschool 4 teacher, so we always had to do our homework before we got to watch Scooby-Doo.
And substitute teacher Rue Willis.
I understand how our students are struggling within the classroom because right now the curriculum, especially for first graders, is all based on a textbook.
And there are 3 Chesapeake parents also running, including Elijah Colin.
Prioritizing parents' voices and ensuring that they have a seat at the table continuously, not something that we just say, but it's something that we do, and we actually adhere to it.
And military veterans Gregory Dono and Daniel Stoller, both prioritizing school safety.
I'm running because I know that our greatest asset is our children, bar none. And we have to do everything that we can to make sure that our children are safe, treated fairly.
My top priority is school safety. I know firsthand that complacency, it can lead to failure. So I'll work consistently to continue to evolve these security methods.
In Chesapeake, Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
From national to hyper-local politics, 13 News Now wants you to be informed about every race you could see on Election Day.
Tonight, we continue our series of election stories with the candidates running to lead one of the region's fastest growing cities. Alex Littlehales reports on the race for Chesapeake City Council.
A mix of experience and newcomers round out the stage for Chesapeake's 3 at-large city council seats. There are 9 candidates in total, meaning the candidates with the 3 highest vote counts will be seated to city council. First are incumbent council members Robert Ike and Debbie Ritter running for re-election.
I believe we should keep our taxes and fees as low as possible, particularly in today's economy. I believe without having a safe city and well-trained law enforcement and first responders, we really have nothing.
Patricia King, a former teacher who once served on Chesapeake's school board, is running on a platform of environmental conservation.
I am concerned about the environment. So one of my priorities is to have curbside recycling reinstated for all of the citizens of Chesapeake and not just those who can afford it. I'm concerned about the rapid growth that's taken place in the city.
Political newcomer Jeff Staples shares a similar platform. He's concerned about the environmental challenges of overdevelopment near the Great Dismal Swamp.
One of the reasons why I wanted to get into the race is we have this hyper amount of development going on, and it's getting ever closer to the Dismal Swamp. But even where development is occurring now actually contaminates the swamp itself.
There are two candidates with law enforcement experience who are on the ballot. Jeff Jeffries is an active police captain on Chesapeake's police department.
Of course, attracting new businesses. I believe that needs to be the focus. That needs to be the primary focus for our growth going forward, is attracting new businesses and helping the existing businesses that we have flourish. You know, public safety obviously has to be number one.
Another candidate, Les Smith, is a former sheriff's deputy.
So my platform is that of the citizens, and those are affordable housing. It's important that we have affordable housing for our seniors, for our disabled, for our homeless.
And there are also two current public school teachers in the city of Chesapeake who feel they bring a better vision for city leadership. There is Reagan Davis and Jennifer Naparala.
Proactive infrastructure so that we have better roads and sidewalks so that everybody, including our children, do not have to walk in busy roadways to get to school.
And then there is Eric Ray, director of the Vaughn Funeral Home in Norfolk.
Well, we might have to deal with what the Greenbrier Mall property. That's something that we have to deal with. We have other properties that, from what I've heard, they may be being able to be negotiated. They're already negotiating some things. They've negotiated also in Chesapeake Square, and so they want to rebuild Chesapeake Square. Pretty much, we want to rebuild.
All candidates have so far fundraised more than $250,000 in total for the race. In Chesapeake, I'm Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
From national to hyper-local politics, 13 News Now wants you to be informed about every question you see on Election Day.
Tonight, we continue our series of election stories with the latest chapter in a years-long saga involving waste and your wallet. Alex Littlehales reports.
A trip to the green dumpsters behind Chesapeake City Hall have become part of the weekly routine for city residents like Tim Marker.
When we finally heard that these were installed a couple years ago, we started dumping here.
But on November 5th, Chesapeake voters have a chance to put this chore back in the city's hands. In 2022, the city of Chesapeake ended its curbside recycling program, meaning everything that may not normally go into your trash, like
milk jugs, random plastic containers,
packaging from snack food, even a toilet paper roll,
instead winds up here, in one of the city's 8 free recycling drop sites.
So after they made this switch, in the first year, the city racked up more than 3,000 tons of recycling waste. And when they put this task back in taxpayer hands, they saved the city government roughly $2.2 million.
But for many Chesapeake residents, this is an errand they don't mind paying to have someone else handle.
I would vote for it.
I hate seeing trash on the side of the roads.
On November 5th, Chesapeake voters will see this question. Should City Council adopt an ordinance imposing a mandatory fee of up to $10 per month on all households that receive city trash service in order to reestablish curbside recycling? For some, that's money well spent.
$10 to me ain't that much in the grand scheme of things.
Give up one fast food stop and you can afford it.
But for others, up to $120 a year may be too steep of a price. That's up for voters on November 5th to decide. In Chesapeake, I'm Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
This is an advisory referendum, meaning whether voters choose yes or no on this question to impose a monthly fee for curbside recycling. City Council ultimately will have the final say on whether it moves forward.
It's your voice, your vote, Hampton Roads. This year, Virginia Beach City Council Districts 1, 3, 5, and 7 are up for grabs. Plus, there will be a special election in District 8 as Councilmember Chris Taylor vacates his seat to run for mayor. Marta Berglund heard from the community members vying for those seats.
In Virginia Beach's District 1, Ryan Gilliam is facing incumbent David Hutchison.
I want to make it a community for a lifetime for me, my daughters, and my grandchildren, hopefully one day.
that means it needs to be affordable.
I believe in the city. I love the city. We all care for this great city. It is a great city. We're moving it forward.
Incumbent Michael Berlucci has two challengers for Virginia Beach District 3, Christina Miriam Felder and Cleon Jones.
Serving this community for more than 5 years, my record shows we have delivered on flood protection, historic investments. We continue to support public safety professionals.
I'm straight to the point. Once I'm in there, we're just going to get it done. I know how to manage my money. I know how to manage my time.
A lot of people who don't work for the city, you don't really understand the true problems that employees are facing. I deal with the same problems that they're dealing with.
LG Shaw and incumbent Rosemary Wilson are opponents in Virginia Beach's District 5 race.
I'm worried over the next few years that with the growth the city's experienced in the last few years, that a few small missteps could take the city off course. We got to make sure that the city has good guidance and good leadership.
This is a really big job. I have a little slogan that's leadership that delivers, because I've been able to get things accomplished and I know how to work with people.
In District 7, there are two newcomers, Cash Jackson Green and Mabinti Safi Scott. Scott did not respond to requests for comment.
When it comes to the lowest paying jobs, I've been there. So I feel like I'm relatable. And most importantly, I can negotiate a better deal for our residents.
Virginia Beach District 8 special election includes 4 candidates: Cody Connor, Stacey Cummings, Phil Hines, and Leland Jones.
It comes down to accountability and capability. I know there's a lot of people, me being one of them, that we've spent a lot of time wishing we had somebody in government that represented us. Paycheck earners versus the paycheck writers.
I have the experience of dealing with a large organization, with managing the finances of a large organization, and I can bring that to City Council. Something that's lacking. We need somebody that can get people to work together for the better of the whole city.
A lot of young folks aren't staying here, not just because it's too expensive, because quite frankly we lack vitality. Okay, we can't just keep pumping all of our tax dollars into the oceanfront for the benefit of the tourists.
Instill people into our council that don't pertain to any of the special interests and really is just a person of the people, someone that has the business acumen and is here to listen to what the people have to say and instill that.
In Virginia Beach, Marta Berglund, 13 News Now.
Sample ballots and district maps for the city of Virginia Beach are available through our website, 13newsnow.com. It's your voice, your vote. Hampton Roads, the race for mayor in Suffolk, features an incumbent and 2 challengers. One of the biggest issues facing the area is managing the city's growth. Eugene Daniel talks to the candidates about plans to address it and their other plans for Suffolk.
Incumbent Mayor Mike Duman faces challengers David Bosselman and Clint Jenkins in Suffolk. The main conversation in Suffolk centers around growth. With a rising population, there are concerns about the community's ability to handle it.
The reality of a lot of people who do want to live here, they do want to do business here. So that's a good thing. The challenge is, how do we manage it?
Some see it as a problem, but not Duman. The businessman is running for his 2nd term after serving in city council since 2010.
It is providing a very, very stable and significant tax base for our citizens, which is what's allowed us to reduce our tax rates and provide tax relief the last 3 out of 4 years.
Farmer David Bosselman believes Suffolk needs a new direction.
We have been headed down this road of constant growth, and it's causing overdevelopment in our community and a strain on our infrastructure.
Bosselman says the issue is causing traffic problems, overcrowded schools, and a shortage of resources for public safety.
You have to have some development and growth. You do. But it has not been in the forefront to manage it as such.
Jenkins, a former state delegate, says he's running to make Suffolk more affordable for all. He says issues vary depending on where people live in the city, but as a whole, he points to infrastructure as a top issue.
Dealing with infrastructure, dealing with traffic, dealing with making sure that the infrastructure keeps up with the growth here in the city.
Jenkins says city leaders must keep working with the state to get funding for infrastructure, and he also mentioned more affordable housing.
What does Suffolk need to be competitive in the region, and what does the citizens who live in Suffolk, what are their needs?
In Suffolk, Eugene Daniel, 13 News Now.
The race for mayor in Chesapeake is a battle between two familiar faces. Councilman Don Carey is challenging incumbent Mayor Rick West. Eugene Daniels spoke with the candidates and shares where they stand on the issues.
Two familiar names are running for the mayoral seat in Chesapeake, Mayor Rick West and Councilman Don Carey. West, a longtime educator in the city's public school system, says his top priorities are providing a quality education, public safety, and building the economy.
People want to live in Chesapeake. People want to do business in Chesapeake. And my main objective is to keep it that way.
West touts the city's growth since he was first elected to the position in 2018 and says he's a candidate who can build important partnerships with others across the state and region.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is having leaders that you can trust, that they say what they mean and mean what they say.
Really geographical, depending on where you live, you experience the resources and programs of the city differently. Therefore, I think your mayor should be someone who has the ability to protect the gains we've had in public safety and education, but also make sure that other residents in other areas of the city can experience all that the city has to offer.
Carey, a star athlete at Norfolk State University before a 10-year career in the NFL, joined Chesapeake City Council in 2020. He lists affordable housing, public safety, and workforce development as some of his top issues. Carey says Chesapeake leaders must start thinking about projected growth in the city.
These people are moving into the city. Where are we going to house them? Where would we like to steer development within the city of Chesapeake? How do we want growth to look? What kind of industries are we going to bring into the city of Chesapeake? All of these are questions that we have to answer. We have to answer them now.
In Chesapeake, Eugene Daniel, 13 News Now.
Last month, a judge dismissed lawsuits calling for Carey to resign from city council in order to run for mayor, meaning Carey can remain in his seat as the election progresses. We have a Virginia voter guide on 13newsnow.com. You can text the word vote to the number on your screen. That's 757-628-6200. We will send you back a link. It includes a breakdown of local ballots, important deadlines, and identification rules.
With less than a month to go until Election Day, we are profiling every race and ballot question from the national races to the one in your backyard. Tonight, Alex Littlehales reports from Virginia Beach on the race to lead the city's sheriff's office.
Virginia Beach voters have a choice between one familiar face and one new one to lead the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office.
And so we've implemented some good things since I've been sworn in as sheriff over the past year, and we got a lot more work to do.
And our sheriff's authority and duty is to help ensure that. They're supposed to be protectors of the citizens, and they take an oath to uphold our Constitution.
Last year, former Sheriff Ken Stolley retired as Virginia Beach's sheriff after leading the office for more than a decade and before passing the torch to interim Sheriff Rocky Holcomb. A sheriff's deputy since the early 1990s, Holcomb previously served on the Virginia Beach City Council and as a lawmaker in the Virginia General Assembly.
I was raised here in the sheriff's office when I started here in 1991.
Holcomb is now officially seeking re-election, continuing a platform to help former inmates reacclimate to society after serving in prison.
We understand that 85% of our offenders are going to go back into the community. So we're going to try to make sure that we give them a soft landing when they get back in the community, whether it be through job skills, through education. A lot of folks come in here and get a GED.
Running against Holcomb is Aldo DiBellardino, who admits that he's never served as a law enforcement officer.
Any perceived lack of experience I have is a false argument.
He claims he applied to be and was set to be a sheriff's deputy in 2022, but was told later to reapply after 6 months. Since then, he has since filed a court petition alleging of corruption within the Virginia Beach court system.
Been jailed twice unlawfully by our courts for standing up against corruption.
Court records show DiBellardino has been arrested twice, including as recently as this summer for misdemeanor trespassing for protesting those allegations outside a courthouse.
It's to help ensure that those courts are being run lawfully, and they're not, and to make sure that jail is being run in the interest of the community.
I'm Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
David Hutchison is currently serving Rocky Holcomb's vacated seat on City Council. He runs against Ryan Gilliam, who is in the city's 1st District. 13 News Now has you covered for this upcoming election. Just text VOTE to the number on your screen, 628-6200. You'll be taken to our Virginia voter guide, which includes information about deadlines, polling places, and who's on the ballot. Remember to text that number. We continue our election series tonight with the race for Virginia Beach School Board.
Yeah, this year, residents will elect representatives in Districts 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7, plus an at-large seat. Marta Berglund breaks down the race.
In Virginia Beach's District 1, Rose Dwyer is running against incumbent Jennifer Franklin. Kelly Converse Fowler dropped out of the race.
I'm going to stand up on the values and the promises I made to the voters. My interests are to value what the parents have to say.
We have to be solution-based at the local level. We can't, worry about not talking to each other, not trying to find solutions. That's what I love about local politics, is we don't have the opportunity to push it off.
Mark Bowensteel is running unopposed in District 3 after John Sutton dropped out. Bowensteel could not be reached for an on-camera interview, but his written comments are available on 13newsnow.com. In District 4's special election, Anissa Bowden and Alveda Green are running to unseat incumbent Shannon Kendrick.
I have 39 years of public education, and there's not a position I have not held officially or unofficially in the school division that has not prepared me for this.
I really care about the constituents that we serve. I've seen the dangers of the hyperpartisanship. I think it's time to stop it. I want to help with the financing piece, the budgeting, the resource allocation.
Bowden did not respond to requests for comment. Melinda Rogers and Vincent Smith are opponents in District 5.
I'm not interested in getting another political seat. I'm not interested in politics, really. I tell people I'm just a teacher. I'm not a politician. Even though I'm running for school board, I'm just focused on education.
I have a lot of skills that I can bring to the board that we don't have on the board right now. I'm a licensed engineer in the state of Virginia. I have over 20 years of managing capital budgets and capital construction and the quality of those things.
District 7 also includes two newcomer candidates, Matthew Cummings and Noah Moreland.
I really want to work hard for championing every single student to obtain strong academic learning and performance in order for them to move on to the next steps in their lives, or to build a foundation, whether it's for college, whether it's for vocational training, whether it's going into military.
The investment that the city has put in me, having lived here 26 years, I thought it only fitting for me to invest back into the school system. Plain and put, I know the city and I care about it.
Finally, Monty Ashleman and Sharon Felton are opponents for the at-large school board seat.
I'm the candidate that serves for the people in their best interest, with taking into account others that may not think like me, others that may not vote like me, others that may not have the same background as me.
I'm the candidate that's for every student every day, and making sure that every student every day get accessibility to an equitable education, every student.
In Virginia Beach, Marta Berglund, 13 News Now.
More information and interview responses from the candidates are available on 13newsnow.com. District maps and sample ballots are also available through our links in this story.
Tonight, the latest in our election series, making sure you know everything you can about the upcoming November elections.
So we have a look at who is running for the top seat in Hampton Roads' most populated city. Alex Littlehales reports.
For the more than 300,000 registered voters in the Neptune City, Virginia Beach voters have a pick of several familiar faces for mayor. It begins with Mayor Bobby Dyer running for re-election, who touts a pro-business pedigree in his time in office.
We're proud of the fact that since I became mayor, we now have a reputation of being open for business. We're bringing in Amazon, which was a big catch. Steel is putting another $60 million in here, and that's going to take us to our economic development to the next level, and also keep people's children right here in Virginia Beach.
Of his 4 challengers, 3 bring Virginia Beach City Council experience. That includes council member Sabrina Wooten, who believes Virginia Beach is ready for the city's first African-American woman mayor.
I'm the only person that has really volunteered in the city for some time. I'm a former police chaplain. I've led on the disparity study, the Independent Citizens Review Board. I've led on flooding, homelessness. I've led serving our local businesses. So I've taken a lot of steps as a leader to stand out and to move those priorities forward.
Another candidate, City Council member Chris Taylor, who's served less than 2 years on City Council, but believes he provides a fresh face for the city.
I'm conservative in some aspects, but that doesn't always mean Republican. I have some liberal views. That doesn't mean Democrat. I believe the mayor is the ability to put items on the agenda and then ensure that issue is heard. As a council member, there may not be two people that want to hear that issue.
3 years in a row, I proposed alternative budgets. They were not accepted. Was that a disappointment? Yes. But were they still the right thing to do?
Former city council member John Moss is running on a platform geared toward fiscal responsibility.
Virginia Beach, under Mayor Dyer, all 3 years had a big budget surplus, didn't give any tax rebates, any tax relief.
And another candidate who is adding controversy to the race is Rick Kowalowicz. He filed a petition which claims Sabrina Wooten and Bobby Dyer are illegitimate candidates because they did not resign from their current positions before running for mayor.
Council doesn't it doesn't run the city. Council works for this charter, the people. If you violate this, it's a problem.
All candidates criticized Mayor Dyer, arguing he caters to special interests with developers during his time leading the city. But when asked, Dyer countered that it represents a strong relationship that is essential and needed to build up the city. In Virginia Beach, Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
And we are covering every Hampton Roads race you need to know about every weekday through the end of October. Tomorrow, hear from the candidates vying for Williamsburg City Council. You can follow all of these stories on air and on our website and the 13 News Now app.